Hello my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of tea, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about an OP who parked on the spot that EM claims to be hers, and when he refused to give her the spot she damaged his car. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Past. Me, I work in an office building with about 3 dozen companies operating on the premises, and because of the odd layout of the building, we have 6 different parking lots. I prefer using the hidden lot that requires you to drive through one of the indoor lots to reach, which between being hard to find and all of the spots being marked compact, is usually less crowded than some of the lots closer to the road, not to mention that the door into the building from that lot is right next to my office, so it's convenient in every way for me personally. Today, it was raining cats and dogs when I arrived at the office. For some reason, my normal lot was unusually full, however someone pulled out of the prime space just as I arrived, giving me a much shorter walk through the wetness to reach the door. I exchange polite nods with the guy leaving, then pull into the space behind him. As I'm getting out of my car and grabbing my laptop bag out of the back, I hear some distant car horn honking, but think nothing of it since it's practically on the other side of the lot. When I turn around to head inside, though, EM rolls up in an oversized SUV and slides to a stop on the wet pavement between me and the building, splashing me with a bit of puddle in the process. EM. That spot wasn't for you. Me. Excuse me? EM. That parking spot. I was waiting for it and you stole it from me. Me, now irritated. Where? The highway, off-ramp. EM. No. I've been looking for a parking spot for 20 minutes, and when one comes open it's for the first person waiting. At this point, I look up and take stock of the whole row of empty spaces she had ignored to come over and harass me about taking her space, and consider the fact that the claim she's making, that whoever was waiting first gets the first available space, is not now, nor has it ever been, a real point of etiquette. Me, gesturing. There are plenty over there that were open before I even got here. Take your pick. EM. No. I need that spot. You need to move, now. Me. Why on earth do you have to have this spot? EM, gesturing to the back seat. So my baby doesn't get wet walking from all the way over there. I look in the back seat, and the kid looking back at me was easily 10 or 12 years old. Also, over there couldn't have been more than 50 feet further to walk in the rain. EK. Sup. Me. That's not a baby. He'll be fine. And anyway, your car wouldn't fit in this compact spot. I move and point so she can read the 6-inch tall letters marking the spot as smaller than average. But if you go around that side of the building, there's another lot that isn't compact spaces. EM. Whatever, are you gonna move or not? You need the extra exercise anyway. Me, already cranky because I hadn't eaten yet, now pissed that this orangutan in lipstick is talking to me this way. Well, I'm definitely not moving for such a colossal witch. Have fun walking in the rain, I hope you get struck by lightning. I quickly walked away while this charming example of humanity hurled abuse after me. Now, admittedly, about 15 minutes later once I was settled in at my desk I started feeling really badly that I'd told this woman I hope she gets struck by lightning, even if there was no lightning going on in that rainstorm. I continued to feel bad for all of 5 minutes when the sound of a car alarm caused me to go to the window and look out. This woman had parked somewhere, gotten out of the car, and was now keying the hell out of my driver's side door while EK recorded it on his phone. I took a quick picture of them in the act on my own phone and immediately called building security to tell them what was going on. So guess who got arrested for destruction of property and assault? Oh, right, she also spit on and scratched the security guard who went to confront her, so assault. And everything that went down from beginning to end was practically right under a security camera, so it got a good look at her, her kid, and her car, including license plate, so no way she's getting away with it. And since the slur she etched into my car door is offensive, she may also get charged under hate crime laws. Update: I got a phone call from my lawyer this morning. The EM from my story had her arraignment this week, and several new pieces of information came to light. Please forgive me for not having more details, but I wasn't physically there and only know what my lawyer passed on to me. First off, she was off her medication for bipolar disorder when we had our encounter, which explains her rather extreme and irrational response to me not caving to her demand. Second, her going off those meds was a direct result of her husband's sudden death from heart failure the week before. Well, crap. Now my empathy gland has been activated. It's much harder, for me, anyway, to hate on somebody that's having one of the worst moments of their life. I can only imagine what kind of idiot I'd become, or how long it would last, if my wife up and died. It also explains the quietness and glazed look in her son's eyes. He's not a dull-witted idiot, he's a kid coping with the loss of a parent. It also appears he wasn't actually recording video of his mom scratching slur into my car door. Either that or he never saved the footage. Either way, it didn't turn up. So with the mitigating factors of grief and mental illness taken into account, the prosecution has worked up a deal. For my part, I've been offered a few $1,000s in monetary settlement in exchange for dropping the charge. It's more than enough to fully replace my door, with money left over, so between that and genuinely feeling bad for this woman, I think I'm gonna take it. It's not like her actions traumatized me. She will plead no contest to the remaining charge of battery in exchange for getting a year of probation, community service, and mandatory counseling instead of jail time, and so long as she meets the requirements of the probation, she will even get to keep custody of her son. I kind of don't know how to feel. In the course of one phone call, I went from hating her and being filled with righteous fury to feeling really bad for her, knowing what kind of messed up situation led to her behavior. I have no way of knowing she isn't a full-on Karen in the best of times, but I just can't see her as a clear-cut EM anymore, and it's deflated my hate on like a sad balloon 3 days after the birthday party. OP, you're a very kind person. I think what you did is right. Yes, her actions were crazy, but when you find out about her, you tried to understand her situation and forgot about your anger. I'm in the UK. The legal alcohol drinking age is 18 here. I work in an extremely busy pub that sells drinks in takeaway cups to drink outside, an especially popular option in the summer when this story happened. Me, female, late 20s. Entitled mother, EM, and kid come in at the busy bar. I clocked them when they walked in. The kid looked around 15-year-old. At the point where she is ordering her drinks to take away, the kid is outside. She orders a pint of scrumpy, strong, still, traditional cider, and a Coke without saying a word, dispassionately prodding the signage with her manicured finger without even registering my existence. I repeat her order back to her. Pour her drinks and tell her how much. She ignores my offered hand and drops a note and a pile of coins on the bar, barely within awkward reach. I politely asked her if she wouldn't mind putting the coins in my hand. She ignores me and says keep the change and walks out. After she leaves, I awkwardly pretzel myself around many ale pumps to fumblingly pick up the coins from the bar, count them out, finish the transaction in the till, and pop the extra 5p in the tips jar. Then go on to serve the next customer. A few minutes later, I'm aware of her beckoning me from over at the no-service end of the bar, holding the pint of scrumpy. I make eye contact and give her a nod, then turn to finish serving the customer I have just poured a drink for. EM, from across the room. Excuse me. Me. Hang on 1 minute please, I'm just serving this man. EM. Excuse me. I finished serving the man. E. Is everything okay? EM, thrusting the pint into my hands. This cider is completely flat. Me. Sorry for the confusion, but it's a traditional scrumpy, and it's meant to be flat. EM, interrupting, patronizingly. I know what cider is supposed to be like. This is flat. I want you to pour another one in a fresh glass. And put some life in this one. E. Can I suggest you might want to try a different cider? We have a hard cider on keg that might be more what you were expecting. EM. I ordered what I wanted. What I was expecting was that you might know how to pour a pint. Do you want to try again or shall I ask him to pour it for me? She points at my male colleague, me. Excuse me. EM. My son barely had a sip of that and he won't even drink it. Me, shocked now. You gave that to your kid? EM, sputtering a little. Yeah, well, he's over 18. Me. Is he? I had seen him. He certainly did not look a day over 15. EM must have noticed at this point that she was onto a loser because the next thing you know she's gesturing towards the pint of scrumpy still in my hands. EM. Oh, just give it back, I don't have time for this. Me. I'm sorry but I can't do that. EM. I have paid for that. I get the money, plus her 5p tip from the till and extend it towards her. She won't take it. EM. I want the drink I paid for. Me. If you can come in with your son and a valid photo ID proving he is of. EM, bits of spit flying. He is my son, he doesn't need an ID, I'm with him. I am his mother. Me. Sorry, but it's the law. Please take your money. I don't want an argument. EM. Fine, it's for me. I place the cider on the back bar out of her reach, close my eyes and take a deep breath. EM. I want to speak to your manager. Yup, there it is. I haven't even opened my mouth to tell her that I am the manager before she is striding over to my male colleague, CO, who has clearly been rubbernecking while serving customers and cannot wait to get involved. EM. I need to complain about your employee. She has no customer service skills and clearly doesn't know how to pour a pint. CO can barely keep a straight face. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'll make sure she's fired immediately. EM. Now you'll pour a decent pint, won't you? CO. No. EM, shocked. What? CO. Not gonna do it. 8% Scrumpy isn't the best gateway alcohol for your boy, by the way. Just saying. EM sputters and storms out, muttering something about leaving a bad online review. I was going to say the kid might have been 18, but a reaction to being called out makes it pretty clear he's underage. OP and OP's coworker handled it beautifully, by the way. Past. Me, D. My dad, C. My stepmom at the time, LC. My stepbrother at the time, EK1. Entitled Kid 1, EK2. Entitled Kid 2, EM. Entitled Mom, T. Theater employee, SG. Security guard. This happened when I was 11 or 12, so place it in 2000 or 2001. My recently divorced dad had been dating this really cool, sweet lady for nearly a year at this point, and she had a son who was only a year younger than me. Their relationship fell apart later, but those details aren't relevant to this story. During this time, their relationship was strong enough that I considered her and her son my step-family, hence their cast member placeholder names. We had all gone out to see a movie. I don't remember which movie, but this took place in 2000 or 2001, so let's say it was the Jurassic Park 3 opening weekend. The theater we went to had just introduced labeled reserved seating, and D had reserved our seats the day prior, so he was able to get all 4 seats next to each other. From left to right, the seating arrangement was C, D, LC, then me. This is relevant for what's coming up later. Me and LC sat down in our seats and D and C put their jackets in their respective seats. They wanted to go get everyone some concessions, so D asked LC and me what we wanted. As they were leaving, D asked us to keep an eye on their seats and jackets. Not long after D and C left to get the snacks, another family of 3 showed up, our entitled family. They started to sit down next to our seats, but then EK1 grabbed C's jacket and threw it onto the floor and sat in her seat. He and EK2 were both around 16 or 17 and much bigger than either me or LC. Regardless, we were in charge of guarding these seats and jackets, so I got up to see if maybe they got the wrong seats. TK1, hey, sorry, but can you check your ticket stub for your seat? This theater has reserved seats, and my stepmom is supposed to sit there. EK1. No, you have the wrong seats. Me. Are you sure? My dad has our stubs, and I'm pretty sure that's where C is supposed to sit. EK1. I don't care, kid. Get out of my face. EK2. Yeah, leave EK1 alone, you dumb idiot. EM. Having overheard the conversation, what's going on? Why are you bothering my kids? E. I'm just trying to see if maybe you all have accidentally sat in the wrong seats and want to see if maybe you all could move over 1 seat since EK1 is sitting in C's reserved spot. EM. No, we reserved these seats and we are sitting here. EK1. Yeah, now back off, kid. Me. Deciding that there's nothing I can do about them until D and C come back, can I at least pick up C's jacket that you threw on the floor? EK1. Ignores me. E. Excuse me. Can I at least pick up the jacket? EK1. No, go sit the hell down. Me. Tries picking up the jacket anyway. EK1. Starts trying to kick my arms and head as I was trying to pick up C's jacket. Stop trying to touch me. EM. In the shrillest voice imaginable, leave my kids alone. EK2. Stop trying to bite my brother. Me. Okay, I'll sit down, but my parents are on their way back. Sits down without the jacket. LC. To me, what are we going to do? Me. We just have to wait until C and D come back. C and D come back about 10 minutes later. C. Sees her jacket on the floor, what's going on here? D. To me and LC, what is this person doing in C's seat? Me. Explains the exact situation to C and D. D. Alright, I'll take care of this. B. TM, did your kid here throw my girlfriend's coat on the floor and take her seat? EM. These are our reserved seats and her ugly coat, she hasn't even seen the coat yet, was in my son's seat, so he had every right to move it. D. But he threw it onto the nasty floor instead of just handing it to my son over there. He wouldn't even let my son pick the jacket off the floor. He started trying to kick my son in the head when he tried picking it up. EK1. That's because the little idiot was trying to touch and bite my legs. EM. Your little idiot of a son was trying to assault my child, and the other snot-nosed little idiot, points to LC, got up and started cheering him on saying bite him. C. To LC, did this happen? Me. No, he stayed in his seat quiet the whole time. EM. No, they're lying. He was trying to assault my children. EK2. Yeah, he tried to bite my brother. B. Knowing that's just something I wouldn't do, I highly doubt that. Anyway, EK1 needs to move since that's my girlfriend's spot. EM. No, I reserved these seats. D. Pulls C's ticket stub out of his pocket. No, the seat number matches what's on her stub. Tries to show EM. EM. Unsuccessfully tries to snatch the stub away from D. No, that's wrong. EK2. Also tries to snatch the stub away. TE. Having witnessed the tail end of the commotion, what's going on? Is everyone okay? What can I do to help? EM. No. This family of degenerates is trying to steal one of our seats. Pointing at me, that one tried to assault my kids, and, now pointing at D, that one took my son's ticket stub away from me when I tried to show him proof. He's even got it in his hand. D. To T. No, this is my girlfriend's ticket stub. I was trying to show her that the seat numbers match up. They threw C's jacket on the floor, and EK1 sat in her seat. TE. Okay, first off, I need to see everyone's ticket stubs to confirm they are accurate and that no mistakes were made in our system. D, being the one who has all our ticket stubs, pulls them all out at once and shows T. T. Okay, these match up. TM, may I also see your group stubs? EM. Turning white in the face, no, I threw them away after they tore the tickets from them. TE. But you were just saying that this gentleman here snatched one of your stubs away. EM. Stammering on her words a bit, except for that one. I saved that one. T. We instruct our patrons to keep their stubs for this very reason, ma'am. And since they have all their stubs and you have none, I have to assume you either did throw all your stubs away or you didn't buy any tickets at all. All three members of entitled family started to look panicked. EM. I want to speak to your manager, this is absurd. T. I am the manager, ma'am. I'll have to ask you to leave. EM. No, we are sitting here, I reserved these seats. T. Without proof of purchase we really don't know, do we? I'll have to ask you to leave, ma'am. EM. I'm not moving. EK2 gets up, Mom, we need to go, before they call security or something. EM. No. T. Calls for security over his radio and explains the situation. 2 minutes later, SG arrives. SG. To T. Which group needs to be escorted out? EM. Points to us, that group. They stole our seats and assaulted me and my children. T. No. SG, EM and her family are the ones that are causing the commotion. Could you please escort them off the property? SG. Absolutely. Alright EM, you and the rest of your party need to come with me. EM. Gets up and walks towards me, if you hadn't have said anything we could have watched a movie in peace. EM then throws a full 20 ounces bottle of Coke at me, and it hits me directly in the eye. Me. What the hell is wrong with you? That hurt. D. Now full of rage, rushes at EM, how dare you throw that at my son? I'm calling the police. Entitled family bolts it for the exit with SG in tow. D. To T, your security team better catch them before I do. Takes off after entitled family and SG. T. To me, my god. Are you okay? Me. My eye hurts, but I think I'm alright. SG. Heard over T's radio, we caught up to them and the police are on their way. You need to get Mr. D's group out here too, so the police can ask questions when they arrive. T. Okay, we'll be there in a second. To me, C and LC, y'all better come with me. We follow T outside where security has both EM and D in handcuffs, with EK1 and EK2 sitting on the sidewalk. C. Why is D in handcuffs too? SG, to C, he was coming at EM very aggressively and we didn't want anyone else getting hurt. D, yeah, I was pretty mad. Don't worry about me, C. I'm fine. The police arrive 20 minutes later and start taking our stories. With so many witnesses, it was obvious who was at fault. D ended up pressing charges against her. The police took EM away in a police car after additional questioning. I don't know what happened to EK1 and EK2, but I'm assuming their dad or someone came to get them. During the ordeal, we ended up missing the beginning of the movie. The theater offered to give D free tickets to another showing, and he accepted. We ended up going back to finally see the movie the very next weekend, with thankfully one less encounter with EM. When I was typing this out, I had to ask D what eventually happened to EM, and he told me she got a fine and like half a year in jail, and he was pretty sure she was banned from that theater. 6 months in jail and a lifetime ban from a movie theater, all because you couldn't be bothered to reserve your own seats or sit somewhere else, and when you got called out, having the bright idea to do that kind of thing. I wonder if she learned anything from this. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about an OP who is deaf and about an entitled woman who demanded OP to speak English because it's very rude to use hand signal stuff. You'll be very surprised by her boss's reaction. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.